Hi everybody, it's me, Teresa Perrin. I want to discuss Mullen Automotives with you, the new filing that came out today after hours, and the chatter about a reverse stock split and what this filing has to do with it. So anyways, guys, let's get started. Please remember nothing I say is financial advice and always do your own DD. Please smash that like button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, so today's 8K. Was quite interesting. Let me start by sharing it with you and then I'll make comments. On November 14th, Mullen Automotive entered into a subscription and investment representation agreement. The subscription agreement with David Mitchery, its CEO, who is an accredited investor. The purchaser, pursuant to which the company issued and sold one share of the company's Series AA preferred stock, par value 0.01 per share, to the purchaser for $25,000 in cash. Additional information regarding the rights, preferences, privileges, and restrictions applicable can be seen as set forth in item 5.03 of this current report on Form 8K. All right, guys, so basically, let me explain this part before I go on to the next part. David Mitchery basically bought one Series AA preferred share for $25,000 US. Now, why would David do that? Well, let's get into it. So, this is the important part. On November 14th, the company filed a certificate of designation. The certificate of designation with the Secretary of State of Delaware, effective as of the time of filing, designating that the rights, preferences, privileges, and restrictions of the share of preferred stock. The certificate of delegation provides that the preferred stock will have 1,300,000,000 votes per share. Get that? 1,300,000,000 votes per share of preferred stock, and will vote together with the outstanding shares of the company's common stock, Series A preferred stock, Series B preferred stock, Series C preferred stock, and Series D preferred stock as a single class exclusively with respect to any proposal to adopt an amendment of the company's second amended and restated certificate of incorporation to effect a reverse stock split of the company's common stock. The preferred stock will be voted without action by the holder on any such proposal in the same proportion as shares of common stock, Series A preferred, Series B preferred, Series C, and Series D preferred stock as a single class are voted. The preferred stock otherwise has no voting rights except otherwise required by the general corporation law of the state of Delaware. The outstanding shares of preferred stock will be redeemed in whole, but not in part, at any time if such redemption is ordered by the board of directors in its sole discretion or automatically upon the approval of the company's stockholders of an amendment to the restated certificate to implement a reverse stock split. Upon such redemption, the holder of the preferred stock will receive consideration of $25,000 US in cash. All right, guys, what does this mean? Basically, it means that, guess what? Nobody's going to stop David Mitchery from doing a reverse stock split if he needs to do one. Because guess what? With 1,300,000,000 voting shares of voting power to do a reverse stock split by purchasing this Series AA preferred share for $25,000, he ultimately gets to make that decision. And should he need to do a reverse stock split, once that is done, the company will reimburse him the $25,000 that he paid for that right to do that. So essentially, guys, this was his way of saying, you know what? Game over. If I have to do a reverse stock split, you're not going to threaten me that, shareholders aren't going to vote for it. And, maybe he has people that own the stock with shares that he's concerned wouldn't vote for it. Maybe they want to see the company fail because they're shorting it. We don't know, but you have to kind of wonder, don't you? Because I don't personally foresee retail saying, no, we're going to let our stock go down to the OTC market because we don't want a reverse stock split. We all know that that's a risk. Now, the risk is not imminent, guys, because, like I said, in that filing, what did it show us for a date? June. 6 months from there would be January, right? So we have a little bit more time, plus David, I believe, can file an extension should he deem. But perhaps he wants to increase the value of his stock because he wants, it to be more attractive to investors, because hedge funds and stuff cannot invest in certain stocks that are trading below $5. Like pension funds and things like that. Some of these things have rules that they can't do that, guys. So it may be in David's best interest to do a reverse stock split irregardless. Or perhaps he's calling the bluff of, who knows, somebody trying to threaten him, whatever the case may be, that's perhaps doing predatory lending. We don't know the situations that we don't see, right? This is purely speculative, guys. Nobody wants to get sued, but it's thoughts that have to cross your mind when you see something like this. Why does he feel he had to make this move to ensure that this vote goes through? That's what I'd be asking myself. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if all of a sudden, now that this paperwork's come out, whoever's shorting the crap out of Mullen says, it's not going to work. This company's not going to go bankrupt or get delisted down to OTC land. Better I cover. Perhaps that's what we see, and perhaps this stock starts to rip tomorrow. I don't know, guys, but I do find it of interest that David had to make this move, or felt he had to make this move at any rate, and take that power into his own hands. It really, really makes me wonder what is going on that we're not seeing. And it should make you wonder the same. Now, I just want to show you that it appears he got that $25,000, according to this filing, by shares he was awarded as part of his performance stock award agreement dated May 5th, 2022. Because as you can see, 11/9, he was awarded, and that, what I just said, is down below, 24,623,002 shares, right? Which, would give him a good chunk of that, not the total chunk, but at any rate, it just shows you here. And then it looks like code G, I think he gifted, I think it's somewhere on here what it means, but at any rate, it is what it is. G and V is somewhere on this form if you're really that interested in it, but I just wanted to show you that, don't worry, he has his shares covered to pay for that. These are just part of them. He still has a total of 68,397,397, but with 24 million shares, quite easily he can pay that $25,000 fee to get that Series A preferred stock, which, guys, as you saw, as soon as a reverse stock split should happen, or the board deems it's no longer a threat and, takes it back, then, guys, it's not a problem, and he gets his money back. So it's a win-win for him. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that as a shareholder. I'm just curious. Now, I did see this when I was, looking around on Twitter. StockTwits, which I very rarely look at, but for some reason I was drawn to it for a few minutes today. And I saw this little article under Mullen. Looks like Rami Tamatsu, November 14, 2022. Shout out to you for doing this. It's cute. It looks like a little newspaper article. It says London-based Cube Research discloses a new stake in Mullen stock. Geode Capital Management reports 139.82% increase in ownership of Mullen. Vanguard Group reports 77.69% increase in ownership of Mullen. Mullen Automotive momentum builds. Bears risk short squeeze. Yes, they do. The short interest is currently at 37 million. There's 137.24 million shares shorted, 33.79% short interest of the float, and 9.57% cost to borrow. So guys, I just thought I would end this with a happy note that it looks like more institutional investors are coming on board, and it looks like the short interest is getting ready to have a nice little squeezy. I'm sure we're going to be back above 50 soon, and hopefully we get back above $1. And David doesn't even have to use this card that he just pulled out. But I just thought I'd bring it to your attention because you should know as a shareholder what's going on. Thank you so much for watching and have a fabulous night.